Hi, welcome. If your IT team runs on ServiceNow and your dev team works in Jira, this is the video for you. What I'm going to show you is a live sync between Jira issues and ServiceNow incidents. Status, comments, attachments, and fields flow in both ways. A free 30-day trial is here if you want to follow along after. Let's get into it. This one runs through the Jira app panel. After installing, you will go to Apps in Jira and find your Jira ServiceNow integration by Getint. You will land on a page exactly like this. From here, you will select Create Integration, Continue Sync, and then you will choose to connect the app. Let's start with the Jira app, selecting Jira, and then you will need to create a new connection. To make this demo simpler, I will not create a connection, but you can follow our documentation here to learn how to create a connection for Jira. Let's start with selecting one of my connections, and then we'll choose the project. Now connect, and we are good to go. Now for ServiceNow, the connection requires a dedicated user with specific roles and permissions configured inside ServiceNow. It's a more complex setup than other connectors, creating user, assigning the right roles, and making sure Getint has access to the tables it needs. That's why I will not go through all the steps, but you can follow along on our documentation. I will go ahead and connect with one of the connections that I already have so we can show you how it works. Now that both sides are connected, let's map the types. I could choose the quick build and allow the tool to handle the mappings for me, but for this demonstration, I want to do it manually and show how to map it like this. So selecting here, I would choose on this side task and on this side incident. And add. Now the tool will also try and map the fields that I have on both work items. You can see it's ready. Let's click on here. And from here, we can then choose the directions using the arrows to both sides. So if I want everything to just flow from Jira to ServiceNow, I can just go ahead and select the arrows to that side, or leave it in the middle if I want it flowing both ways. From here, we can add more fields if you want to. So I can select the side and then add another field if I want, and then match that with the other side. I can also remove fields that will not work for me. I'm satisfied with these fields in here, should work just fine. So let's move on to status. From here, as you can see, the tool only mapped it in progress, so we can go and manually map the other ones. So selecting to do to new, done with closed, and we can also have in review to on hold. As you can see, we have other two status that don't quite match what we have, but you can select one of them and add additionally to this. So we can do resolved with done, and now you will have two of the status flowing to one on the other side. Similarly to what you saw on fields, we can also select the direction that we want this data flowing to. If I want a bi-directional one, I can leave it in the middle like this, and then both sides will be updated. Let's move on now to comments and attachments. And in here, you can also select if you want the sync to be bi-directional or one directional. You can select and exclude some comments based on the criteria that works for your team. So for example, I can select only comments coming from a specific author, a specific content based on the wordings, or I can select the date of creation. For the demo purposes, I will not select anything like this because I want a simple connection, but you can play around if you want to later on. You can also select how public and private comments will behave, and then enable for attachments as well, and select if they should be both ways or just one direction. In advance, you can also select if you want the data flowing just from one side or the other, or leave it as default. Now we apply, and we are good to proceed. Now, before we move on and create a disconnection, I want to show you the option to control your data by filtering. As you can see, we have this little icon here. That is our filtering option, where you can click and then you will see some options. For example, you can filter out using a label and then add the value for sync. That means that only the items that match this filter criteria will then be part of the synchronization. On the ServiceNow side, you also have the same options, so you have full control of the data that you will be flowing from one side to the other. Now let's move on and give our integration a name, and then create. Now that we have created it, you can go to the latest runs and you will see that one run already happened, and the tool is showing you the ID, the integration name, the mode that is running for the sync, and the execution time. For on-premise deployments, such as the one that I'm using, the runs will happen every 60 seconds or less. And on the Jira Cloud, you will have runs in 3 minutes intervals. That means for one sync to happen to the other one, it will take 3 minutes. Now, let's create something on Jira side and see what happens. Here it's my project. I will select create, use a task, give it the assignee, and then we can also add an attachment. Now we create and go back to Getint to see what happens. There it is. Now we have the ID of the run, the integration name again, the mode, the execution time, and then now you have one item that went to the sync. If we go to the details, we will see that we have the ID of the item that triggered synchronization and the item that it was synced with. The mode was create because this item didn't exist on ServiceNow. We can click on the item ID and see all the information that was part of the synchronization, as well as on the other side, what was transferred. In here, you will see the URL. From here, you will see that the item came through perfectly. Now we can save the status, add one comment, and go back to Getint to see what happens. Now another run happened. Let's go there and check. As you can see, we have the item that triggered this time. It was the ServiceNow one. Sync it with the item that we have created, and the mode now is update because it's just updating the item. If you click in here, let's go to our Jira. As you can see, we have now the status changed and the comments were added properly. In the comment, you have the author, when it was created, and then the item that was the one creating this. As you can see, a bi-directional sync between Jira and ServiceNow is totally function, no manual work. This is the foundation. From here, you can go further, add custom field mappings, change the visibility of your comments, give assignment group filtering, use a JQuery for the Jira side for a more precise control. The core setup, a work bi-directional sync between Jira and ServiceNow, is simple and takes just a few seconds. The complexity is totally optional. That's it. If this was useful, like the video, drop any questions or comments in the comment section. Subscribe if you want to see more connectors. Thanks for watching. See you on the next one.